Okay, there is a big topic ahead of us, and it's important that before we dive into it, we briefly explain what cybersecurity is. So, how can we define it in, let's say, only one sentence? Well, we can say cybersecurity allows us to protect assets, usually digital assets. Now, don't worry about this term asset. We will talk about what that is in more details later on in the course. For now, we can just imagine it as protecting anything of value to us. This can be anything from our private and personal information, to our website or application, to our entire company's data and business plan. Cybersecurity's goal is to protect all of that. Now, in an ideal world, there is no need for cybersecurity because every person is good and won't use anything for bad cause. But in reality, there are a lot of people just waiting to inflict damage to others, and in digital world, we call those people black hat hackers. Now, their motives can be different as to why they perform malicious attacks, and we will talk about hackers and their motives later in the course, but a goal of a cybersecurity expert is to always overpower the black hat hacker and prevent any type of attack that they run. This is of course not easy, and it takes years and years of learning to truly master the aspect of cybersecurity. Not to mention the constant technology evolving and the need to update knowledge and tools all the time. Now, security is a very broad and wide area since it applies to pretty much everything. It can apply to your personal computer or device security, your network security, mobile phone security, server security, application security, and many more. Even these 5 things that I just mentioned can also be narrowed down and split. For example, mobile security can go into Android and iOS security. Website application security can narrow down depending on the technology on which that website is built, and the same applies to all the other things as well. Anyways, you get the point. There is a lot of work ahead of us, and after this course, you will have a pretty good knowledge of cybersecurity in general. However, it will be up to you to choose in which branch you want to further proceed with your work, since mastering security in details for everything is not possible. Luckily, things get a little bit easier for us once we get a job as a security expert in some company. First thing is that most of the companies have multiple security engineers and experts working in different branches of security. Cybersecurity roles are also something that we will dive deeper into later in the course, but it's good to know that if we might lack knowledge in certain aspect of security, let's say for example in mobile security, there will probably be a colleague of ours in that company that can fill that role in. Besides that, another thing that makes our life easier is that there are many tools and softwares in existence that can help us automate security jobs that can get quite repetitive and boring after some time. These tools also allow us to perform our jobs a lot faster, and when it comes to security, speed and time are also an important factor. One of the security tools that you most likely have heard of are antiviruses and firewalls, and we will devote a lot of time to them later in the course. Now, all of this is needed because of the, as we already mentioned, black hat hackers. And by the way, the reason they are called black hat hackers is because they do malicious things. There are also good hackers called white hat hackers. Now, these black hats also have their own tools that allow them to automate the attacking process and to exploit their target with those tools. They usually exploit their target with something called a payload, which is a piece of software dropped on the target machine and is used to compromise it. The number one motive of black hat hackers is as you might have guessed, a financial gain. But they also can perform their attacks in order to discover some sensitive information about the company, or they want to compromise as much devices as they can and add them to their zombie army or a botnet. They can achieve all of this with many methods, such as delivering payloads through different exploits that target a certain vulnerability. They can also run phishing attacks which target people by tricking them into submitting private information into a fake page. Or it can also trick them to download a piece of software or a Trojan that will then infect their device. The same way they have their methods of attacking, we also have our own methods of protecting ourselves from these attacks. Things like firewalls, antivirus softwares, security experts, and all the tools that they use to automate security is what prevents an attack from compromising a company and its devices. If it successfully blocks the attack, then the security plan or tactic that we are using is good. However, without all of these things that protects the company, you can see that the black hat hacker wouldn't have much of a struggle of directly attacking the important infrastructure and stealing company's data. And in the case where there is no security, the hackers compromised all of the data and the company lost all of its valuable information, while hackers got away with it. Okay, this would be most brief introduction as to what cybersecurity is and why it is needed. Now that we got that out of the way, let's dive deeper into more details about this field.